In Photoshop, you can create amazing bokeh overlays in just a few steps. Let me show you how in this amazing Photoshop tutorial. Hi, welcome back to the Photoshop training channel. I'm Jesus Ramirez. In today's Photoshop tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create beautiful bokeh overlays from scratch. You're not going to need anything else, not a separate photo or anything. We're going to use Photoshop filters to create these bokeh overlays. Let's just get right to it. You can follow along with any image that you like. If you want to use this photo, then check out the link down below in the description. The first step is to create a new layer. I'm going to click on the new layer icon. Then make sure that you have black and white as your foreground and background colors. To make sure that you do, you can click on this icon or you can tap the D key on the keyboard for your default colors. Then fill with black. Black is our foreground color, so you can hold Alt and backspace on Windows. That's Option Delete on the Mac. Once you fill your layer with black, you can go into Filter, Noise, Add Noise. And you're going to get this pattern here. The amount value will vary depending on the width and height of your image. Just make sure the preview looks noisy like it looks here. You can then press OK. Then you can go into Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and blur it so that it looks like a noisy texture like you see here. Again, the value will vary depending on the document size that you're working with. In my case, about 4.5 pixels works, and I'll press OK. Then go into Image, Adjustment, Threshold. Threshold will either make pixels black or white. And you can use this slider to control the number of white specks that you'll see on the image. And these white specks will become the bokeh on screen. So you can adjust this accordingly. I don't want too many, but I also don't want so few that you really can't see them. So you will have to fine tune this slider a bit. So I would say that something that looks like this should work. So not too many white specks, just enough so that they will fill the image. And you can press OK. Then you can go into Filter, Blur Gallery, Field Blur, and from here adjust the light bokeh slider and adjust the blur to increase the size of the bokeh. You can also adjust the light range slider. You can click on the black point and drag it to the left, and you can see how you start getting more of the bokeh. So this is totally up to you. This is all subjective. So in my case, maybe around here, and maybe increase the light bokeh even a bit more. And the blurring is just to create larger bokeh. Then I'll press OK. And what I'll do now is select the background and press Ctrl J on Windows, Command J on the Mac, drag that up, and this will become the color of my color overlay. I'm going to press Ctrl Alt G, Command Option G on the Mac to clip this layer to the layer below so that the visibility of the bokeh layer controls the visibility of this background copy. And next I'm going to go into Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and just blur the image so that there are no more details, just colors, and I can press OK. Next, I'll change the blending mode from normal to color, and you can see now that the bokeh has the same colors as the image from the background. Next, you can click on this layer 1, which is the bokeh layer, and I'll rename it just so that we know what this layer is, bokeh. And I'll rename the layer above to color. We always want to be organized and we want to know what these layers are controlling in the overall image. And on this bokeh layer, I'll change the blending mode to screen so that the black pixels disappear and the bright pixels stay. So you can see what this overlay looks without color and with color. You could also select the color layer and go into Image, Adjustment, Hue and Saturation. And from here, you can increase the saturation of those colors. You can see the before and after by checking and unchecking this box. You could also press the P key to enable and disable the preview. And of course, you can adjust the hue to shift the hue to a different color if you want to. In this case, I want to stay right in the center, right where I was, so I'll leave that at 0. I'll press OK. So that's before and after. You could always select your bokeh layer and go into Image, Adjustment, Levels, and with the levels, I can adjust how intense the bokeh is. If I drag this center point to the left, I can make the bokeh more intense. And if I drag it to the right, I can make it less intense. So it's totally up to you how intense you want the bokeh overlay to be. I'll press OK. And at this point, if I want to, I can actually hold shift and click on these corner handles to expand the layer, make it larger, and I can have a little more control and move it around if need be. And by the way, let me know what you think about this technique. You can leave a comment down below. Also, if you enjoyed it, click on that like button now. If you're new to the Photoshop training channel, then don't forget to click on that subscribe and notification button so that you don't miss any new Photoshop tutorials. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again in the next video.